You had a bad day the other day, didn't you? Your van got broken into. Touch on like tool theft and what was you? Was it a usual place where you leave it, or have you had any disadvantages by like being a female engineer? Have you experienced this like sexism in the trades and stuff like
when
that?
I worked for British Gas, I would say at least once or twice a day I'd knock on a door and I'd get that reaction.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're a female.
Yeah.
So what did the army teach you? That's a bit of a hard question to answer.
They teach you everything, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. They teach you how to be...
Welcome. Oh fucking hell! Welcome to Off the Job, the trade podcast. Today we have a couple of guests in, good friends of mine and Keiran's. We have BB the engineer, Billy, and we have his partner in crime and in life,
The boss.
the boss, Kaz from KazGas.
Welcome, guys and girls.
Welcome. How's
Thank
the
you.
drive? All right.
Yeah, sound, man.
Yeah. Sound.
Thanks for having us on.
That's all right. Right, that's the end of the interview.
Goodbye.
Normally people say that at the end. But yeah, no. So we all know each other anyway from Instagram, don't we? And such platforms, I guess. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves, Billy, Kaz? Who wants to go first? Ladies first. Ladies first.
She's
Put
like,
it,
no.
put it on her.
So I'm a gas engineer. I've been doing it for 25 years now. 22 of them was with big company British Gas.
Mm-hmm.
Then just under 3 years ago, I set up my own business, KazGas. And yeah, I've been doing that since.
Yeah.
That's a long time of British Gas, isn't it? Was there many other people? You must have been one of the longest going gas engineers.
No, I mean, to be fair, British Gas were that sort of job. That was you join them, that was your career. Your pension, everything was through them. I never really looked at anywhere else. Never thought I'd ever set up on my own. I was happy there. To be fair, it was a good. They taught you well. I worked on every. I'm predominantly a repair engineer, service and repair engineer. So I worked on every brand of boiler, every make, model. So yeah, for 22 years, I was pretty much repairing boilers.
What got you into the gas industry in the first place?
I left school without a clue of what I wanted to do. Obviously, some of my friends stayed on, went to uni. I didn't really fancy any of the traditional, what they call female roles. Obviously, I'm talking 25 years ago. So I went to a technical college local to myself and looked at what courses they had on there. And I actually fancied being an electrician. So I looked at all the courses. I looked at the electrician course and there was a bricklaying course. And then I looked at the plumbing and I thought, actually, plumbing looked better.
Yeah.
So I decided to do that. So I did 2 years at college doing plumbing NVQ. Sort of left there with a plumbing qualification, but absolutely no experience. Yeah. So obviously the same old story, you can't get a job without experience. So I applied for various different roles, and I was working, in a factory just while I found something else. And my mum was photocopying my CV at work for me because I was sending it off to various plumbing companies. And one of the ladies said, "Oh, I know a lady gas engineer. She works for British Gas. You should apply there." So she come back and told me, and I rang them up. And it was the first time in 6 years that they'd even taken on, but they were taking on apprentices at that time, but they were only taking on 50 nationwide. And it was, like I say, first time they'd taken any apprentices on for a long time. So then I sort of applied. I got an interview. I had to go to Leeds for the interview, and there was thousands of applicants, and then, like I say, only 50 places. So you were sort of like, oh, this.
Did they give you any tests to do? Or?
Yeah. So it was a day-long interview. You had a manual exam where you had to build. You had it was a bit like a Meccano type thing in front of you, and you had to build it the same. And I'd heard a couple of lads go, "Oh, I'd built it," and then I realised I'd not put the washers in.
Yeah.
So they were left with all these, and so I was like, "Oh yeah." Like that. So yeah, I built it exactly how it was and finished it. And then you had obviously the exams, you had written exams.
It's quite a big process, isn't it?
Yeah,
to
yeah.
apply
So
for a
it's
job?
day long and then an interview. So I sort of come away from that, and then I got a call a day or so later asking me to go for a medical, and they said, and the nurse said to me, "Oh, if you've come for a medical, that pretty much tells you you've got the job." So I was like, "Oh right, okay." So and then I was in my current job, I was in the factory, but they moved me to the warehouse, and I was just about to take. They was just about to put me through forklift license, but because I knew I had this other job, I didn't want them to pay for me to do that. So I was trying to stall it as long as I could, but I had to wait weeks, and then I finally got a letter through to say I'd got the job. And then when I got when we started, like I say, they would put us into groups, and there was me and two other girls in this 50, and they, excuse me. They'd said at the time when they were taking people on that they wanted people with previous experience, and I'd got my plumbing, obviously MVQ. But this other girl that joined, she had no experience whatsoever. So I sort of felt a little bit disheartened then, because I thought, they've only given it me because I'm a female, and to make the numbers up. And I was really actually quite gutted about that. But then I found out a bit later on, this not to make me sound big-headed, but the guy was like, "Oh, Karen got the highest scores in all the tests. That's why you got it." Like, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I got it on my own merit, not because I'm a woman. Because that's the worst thing. You always think, you don't want to be there making up the numbers. Or just got it because you're female and they want more female representation.
Yeah.
So I felt better than that I'd got it on my own merit and not just because I'm female.
But you obviously love the job.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, I do. Yeah, I mean, it's every day's different.
So was you part of that changeover period from? Is that why you finished with British Gas? That was part of the when they put in the new contracts. And all that
that's
malarkey?
right.
Yeah.
They went through sort of fire and rehire.
Yeah.
And if you didn't sign the new contract, and at the time, I mean, I've got a son. I was working different hours, so I was part-time at that point.
Yeah.
But the new hours, they wanted you to be available for work between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. And as a single parent with a child, it just wasn't doable for me. And they did say, "Oh, well, you can apply to work, these other hours, but you're not always guaranteed to get it." So I just knew if the contract went through, it wouldn't suit me and my situation, which is when I started thinking about setting up by myself. And it was a tough time because there was a lot of at British Gas at that point, there was a lot of negativity, a lot of, we were striking, 2 days a week to lose out on pay, it's a lot. And then obviously to think about leaving, I've got a son, I've got a house, I've got a mortgage, I've got my wage coming in. It's a big step to say I'm going to walk away from a job where I'm guaranteed and money every month and try it on my own sort of thing. And I decided to do it, and I'm glad I did. I've not looked back.
How that transition period though, from walking out, but leaving British Gas. How long do you say it would take to say that you've got that customer base which is like supportive to your needs sort of thing? And did you work with other people at the time?
I did. I started doing some work for a guy who did a lot of work for agencies, so rental properties. So he'd basically just give me the job, I'd go out and do it, and that was it. And it started off doing a bit of that, but then I put a Facebook page together, and to be fair, it's weird, but from the day I started, I pretty much had work every day from the get-go.
How the work gets around.
Yeah, it was just, I didn't have a day where I was sat at home thinking, "Oh, no working today." I mean, I do sort of the smaller jobs anyway, the repairs, the servicing, and that sort of obviously means you need more work because you can't rely on one job that's going to last you 3 or 4 days. You need at least sort of, I book in 3 to 4 a day and then other stuff that comes in. But yeah, from day one, really, I think being female was an advantage because a lot of people do prefer to have a female if they're a lone female
Female
or elderly.
customers,
They prefer it and they feel more comfortable having me there. So I think that worked to my advantage at that
Have you
point.
had any disadvantages by like being a female engineer? Have you experienced this like sexism in the trades and stuff like
when
that?
I worked for British Gas, I would say at least once or twice a day I'd knock on a door and I'd get that reaction.
Oh, really?
You're a female.
Yeah.
And you get all the usual comments. The
Has
best
anyone
one
turned
is,
you away or not?
No. I mean, I've had to. The thing is, what you have to do, you have to work that little bit harder to prove yourself. And I got used to that. It was a water off my back at the end of the day because I knew. And again, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I knew I was good at what I do. And that's because I've had to be confident, because if I'm not confident in myself, other customers aren't going to be confident in me.
No, that's it.
And you learn to be more confident because of that. You sort of walk in with that, I know what I'm doing. I can repair your boiler, I can sort it. But you get that negativity, and I'd win people round because obviously it's not just about repairing the boilers. You know how to work with customers. You know how to... Every customer's different, and you sort of weigh them up within the first sort of 5 to 10 minutes, and then you know how to work with them and how they want you to, how much information they want. So it just sort of all comes with experience, I think. But like I say, I don't think. I mean, I used to get like comments like, "How long have they been letting women do this?" And they don't realise that they're actually what they're saying, but it is one of them.
I know a lot of people say it's banter, but really, it's not, is it? It's just.
It never bothered me, if I'm honest. I put it down to, like, I think it's a natural reaction to people not expecting a woman there. Woman at the door, they expect a man, so they're surprised. And I think the surprising thing for me was I worked in a house, and even like a preschool child was there. So 3-year-old boy who was like, "Oh, but mummy, it's a lady," and that was like eye-opening to me, because it's like, well, it's not just the older generation. It's bred from a young age that it's a man's job, and it's going to be a man turning up. So that made me realise that it's not. It's just something that's a natural sort of reaction to people expect to see a man doing it in a man's job.
A woman did it to the other week. Asked you if you wanted to get a male engineer or a husband to open the system for her.
That was it. Yeah, I did have that one. That one did really.
A customer asked her if a female customer asked her if she wanted her husband or a male engineer to open the system filter.
No, she wanted to get a male. So I'd been the year before, done the service, and I've been honest with her. It was a Worcester filter, and they're a nightmare to open. They're a big fat one, and she had the grip. I couldn't open it, and I said, "Look, I've tried to open it, but I can't. They're not ideal. They do seize up." So I was honest with her and told her I didn't open it. Then the next year she was like, "Can I book my service in?" Yeah, I booked her in. And then like a few weeks before the service, she was like, "I've been thinking, would I be better off getting a male engineer this time because you couldn't open the filter?" And I was just like, wow.
Sometimes I think women are probably the worst when it comes to prejudice in that sense.
I'd probably say that out of the whole time, the most negative reactions I've had have been from older women, probably middle-class women that have had the worst reaction to me.
Old school sort of.
So, but I did open it because I got this new tool and I was able to open it.
I thought you was like, I'm going to open it. I'm going to show you. Snap the whole thing in half.
I've opened it. It's fucked.
But you're actually quite strong, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, when I was at British Gas, I was a manager for a while, and it was a technical manager, so I'd go out and help people on jobs when they were stuck. And there was a young lad, and he was a big lad. You know Mike, don't you? He's a big lad, isn't he? He's like, he still tells this story now, and he tells it so much better than me. But he says he couldn't get this pump out. He'd been trying, he'd been like swinging on it, and he rang me. "I can't get this pump out." I was like, "Right, I'll come out to you." So I went out to him. Apparently this started when, I don't remember, but he said, I sprayed it with WD-40, and he went, and I said, oh, get the kettle on, love, to the customer. So he sat and had a brew, and then I picked up the 2 pairs of grips and says, watch and learn, flower. I know I did remember saying that, and I literally just got it undone, and he was like, I've done that. And I'm like, not always about muscle, it's about technique and skill. And being out there on my own, being a female, struggling with them pumps, not wanting to ask for help, because that's another thing. You're scared to ask for help because you think, they're going to think it's because I'm a weakly female. So you struggle and you find a way of doing it.
Yeah.
And one of my guys that trained me taught me that. He had me crying trying to get this gas valve pipe out, and I couldn't do it. And I was like, I can't do it. He went, well, you ain't doing anything until you get it out. So, you've got to get it out. And I was like crying. I can't get it out. And I got it out because of just perseverance.
Yeah.
But that's another lesson I was taught, and you learn it along the way sort of thing. It makes you sort of, resilient.
There's so many little tips and tricks with plumbing, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think you learn a lot of them through mistake.
Yeah, 100%.
Social media is very good in the way it advances people, tips and tricks, but you almost create your own tips.
Yeah.
And you know that thing where he's copied my tip? It's like, no, he's just come across it at that time.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I've done that.
There's not many. There's not a million ways to do something. There's probably about 4, and 3 have been discovered, and then you'll find the last one and be like, and then you put it up saying, I've invented this. And I'm like, no, man, Todd did it last week.
Yeah.
Todd's done everything, Rob.
Todd's tips.
Yeah. There's loads. I've learned loads since I've been on social media. I ain't gonna lie. I was a shit engineer before. I'm still shit, but I took a lot off of it because I think a lot of people just show it to help. We had this conversation the other week. A lot of people are doing it to help fellow engineers, not end users, not the DIYer. It's just a sort of like a sharing knowledge throughout the game, which is a good thing. But
tools in that as well. So you've got loads of British Gas lads and our mates, and I work with them. And Simon's like, "What's this tool you'll use?" But we've been using it on social media for years. You know that one where people clean out heat exchangers?
Yeah.
Like, where's that brush from, mate? What is it? The outside world who are actually earning a lot of money and grafting because they ain't got time to be messing about like we do. They're just like, "What's this tool? What's this? What are these tools?"
Yeah,
and you're like, "Huh?"
So, I don't get that all the time. When I used to put them cleaning brushes, what is that tool? And I just think to myself, just Google heat exchanger brush. It'll come straight up. It'll be there. Yeah. It will be there.
I think I asked you, Pete, actually. I think you were the one that got me onto that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Because you sent me the extension bit
to
set, get as well. Yeah, that was a long time ago, but yeah.
They were tool station, and I think Regan went, you see that a lot though, don't you? Where something, there's a tool or something, a 5-way connector, and then all of a sudden there's loads of different 5-way connectors on the market, but they're all exactly the same. They've all just got different brands on. So you'd have that brand, but they're all the same. They're all from China.
So you got in the game a little bit later, didn't you?
Yeah, so 12 years of British Gas, was I?
You was in the British Summit, weren't you?
Yeah. I did the medical as well, yeah. British Army, 11 years there, and then left.
Is that straight from school, the Army?
No, straight from college. Yeah, so I grew up mostly in Germany, and then went to boarding school to do A-levels, and then did A-level psychology, and then got booted out for messing about all the time.
So you grew up in Germany?
You wasn't.
What age you grew up? When was you in Germany?
So your dad was posted out there, was he?
Yeah. So from 1996 to 2006. 10 years as a kid.
School out there and everything.
Yeah.
Do you speak German?
No.
Go on, you must do. Go on.
A little bit.
Give us something.
Was you a school, an English school?
An English school, yeah. So there was loads of British Armed Forces in Germany at one point. And if you go to Germany or anywhere, you don't have to speak the language, because everybody speaks English.
Yeah.
And then being English, you don't really.
I want to hear your best impression. Give me something of German.
I speak to the cats in German.
Go on. What did you say to the cats? Go on.
I'm saying, please. I can't think of it. But there's this Donny on Instagram who talks to me in German, and I talk to him German back all the time. Yeah, he's actually German.
Is that,
I think I know what you mean. Begin with a G.
I'm not too sure, but I'll read it and I know exactly what that says.
Yeah.
And then I'll send him back and he'll go, what did you just say?
Who's the main guy on? What's his name?
Nampol.
Nampol. That's
Yeah. No, there's this other Donny as well. He just comments on everything, but in German to try and catch me. I actually don't think he's German though.
So it's secondary school in Germany as well then?
Yeah. Got expelled from every school I went to, not because of mischievous. And then went on to do A levels.
How'd you make it to A levels if you got
I didn't
expelled
know I
from
got
every school?
GCSEs, mate. Just kind of
Was
one
you
of the
just a little
fortunate
terror?
ones who, like, I didn't do anything but tipped up and then passed everything and things. That's not being big-headed, it's just the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
Like, once it's in, it's in. So, and then did my A-levels and then just got kicked out. And then my dad drove up to boarding school, picked me up and said, you're joining the army, and that was it. Like 3 weeks later, I was virtually in the army.
How did that feel like? Did you want to go in the army or?
Not really, no. No, but it's probably one of the best decisions. Yeah.
Makes you
Obviously, I
mad.
got the trade out of it as well, didn't I?
Yeah.
I wanted to be a chippy, but they were... My dad said, don't join the infantry. Join as a Royal Engineer, and then you get a trade, and then got a trade, and then that was it.
What did you want to do? So a chippy before you went to the army?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to be a carpenter or a psychologist, but then obviously didn't do either.
Do you mess about with wood now?
I thought about making a chopping board, but I don't know where to
wood?
start.
Cut a bit of wood in a rectangle.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. They've got no chopping boards at home. I'm just like, we need a chopping board. But I look on Amazon and I think I could make that. But I don't know what wood it is, how you got to finish it.
I'd say
Got a Dremel I've not used yet, and I want to just do something with it.
as plumbers and heating engineers, we sort of like pick up all aspects of trades, don't we? Like you do a bit of electrical.
Yeah.
But to be fair, me,
Look at this, you know what I mean?
this is I'm no chippy.
Have you built this?
I'm a wood
Pete?
butcher.
Look at the angle, miter joints.
Yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
I've done that.
I don't even know what that is. Dovetail.
I've done that. Yeah, double dovetail. Double dove, mate.
Double Dutch tail.
We'll take a picture of that and put it in the old.
But yeah, you're correcting what you're saying. Plumbers are almost like what is it? Where they can do all the other trades, not well, but we can kind of mix it.
You need to, didn't you? You need
Yeah, multi-skilled.
Yeah.
I see a lot of builders, and they can plaster, they can chippy, they can plumb. Well, not plumb like we do, but do you know what I mean?
So what? You ended up being in the army a long time then, considering not wanting to be in there. What made you stick
Well,
around?
I did not want to be in there at first, but
Yeah.
then once you're in, you're kind of in, and then it becomes a way of life.
Brotherhood,
and then,
innit?
Yeah, and then that's it, yeah. And then I got posted back to Germany and spent another 8 years there. So 18 years of my life was in Germany.
You don't speak it fluently.
You still get that northern
And I played for a
accent.
German football team, and I played for everything. I had German football kits. Yeah. Grandma's German.
How did they?
I'm basically
the
German.
Germans accept you.
You are German.
How has it
yeah.
been? You said English school though, wasn't it? Like a majority English.
Yeah. Yeah, they have English schools there. It's basically like you get taught everything you would get taught in England, but in Germany by English teachers. Obviously on a lot of money.
So
More
what
money.
it is, right? Because you're a humorous guy, in you. But the Germans have got a bad rep for humour, ain't they?
Yeah, they're quite strict. They're quite down to. They talk to you direct, don't they?
What was it? Did you, when growing up and all that, was there like, I don't know, would you have like banter with like other?
No, we had wars. Not like the wars like our granddads had, but we used to live on this one side of the street,
Toy
right?
soldiers.
We used to have English houses there,
Right.
and then the German ones, and we used to fight them all the time, mate. That was like no man's land, the road. If you were caught lacking in there, mate, you were done, bro. And if we captured one of them, you know what I mean? We're like 10, 11, 12,
Keeping them
we
hostage.
used to take them down the cellar. And we used to get crab apples as well. And then, like, you know, them, like, are they cooking apples or not? They're just like little apples.
Crab apples.
Yeah, but you put them on a stick, a long stick, strong one. And when that goes flying, windies are in, mate. Knock a door on. It used to be a thing, like, when you were a kid and you run over to, like, enemy territory and then knock a few doors and, you know, tip a few bikes over and then leg it back. But if you got caught...
It's mad.
Was that reciprocated from them to you?
Man, they never come for us. I think it's
just
just
the
like
English.
yeah.
Just the English.
Just like,
How'd
You
you
see
keep-
what it's like now.
How'd you keep the northern accent when you was there so many years?
I don't know. I've got
You literally
I've
got
got
right
many
on
Mix
accents.
of accents. Yeah, once
Because I lived in Norfolk for a while and everyone was like, "Oh, proper pirate," and I was just like, but that's gone now. But people say I'm posh, don't they?
Do they? Till they
Tell
get to
yourself
know
that.
you.
Gypsy, those different accents. What do you think it's northern?
Definitely, yeah.
I know. I get the Norfolk twang. I hear the
I
Norfolk
think the
twang.
Norfolk twang's still quite strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, what made you?
Mum and Dad are northern, you got to think.
What made you come out of the army then?
Just had enough, mate. Just got bored of it in a sense because it got to the point where it was a bit stagnant. So going to the gym twice a day, you wouldn't notice it now, but and then finding stuff to do for the but trying to be busy, but there's nothing to actually keep you busy.
Yeah.
So was you always away? You was never. in
Not
camp?
really, no. I weigh a lot, been places, but it got to the point where obviously you don't want to see lads sitting about doing nothing, so you got to make up jobs for them. So first thing in the morning, litter picking.
Did you have a nice motor out there?
I did, yeah.
A lot of the
Yeah.
boys had nice motors.
Tax-free
hadn't they?
motors, yeah. So when you come back from holiday or wherever you've been, on the parade square, all these car companies that have all the,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like back in the day, it was like Vauxhall, VXRs, Range Rovers, and then they had a bit where they're doing Jags. So the lads, right, were buying these like 130 grand Jaguars for half the price and then no tax. So like driving about in this supercar for like 20 grand or like 18, and then either wrapping them up or coming back to UK and then selling them.
Yeah.
So people used to make a lot of money doing that, but you had to keep them for a year for tax evasion reasons and that.
Did you ever think about living in Germany when you come out?
Not really, no. I still want to go back for a holiday and that. Yeah. It is a nice place if you've been there.
Yeah.
Different way of life, isn't it?
So, how did you two meet then? How did you two get together?
It's on Instagram, yeah.
Good old Instagram.
So you
Oh,
both
He
gas
slid
engineers.
into my
Was you a
DM.
gas
oh
engineer?
right, he slid in,
Oh,
did he?
you slid in.
I've got it here.
We have this
I've got the
argument.
screenshot.
Like,
Have you?
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm
daily,
gonna
who
do?
slid into
Print it out and frame it.
Who's,
What, you
We have-
slid in or the other?
he reckon,
Do I slide in?
it might, when with you had like so many messages on Instagram, and he actually one day went all the way
Took me
back,
hours.
very like 2.5 years
Yeah.
of messages. We still message now, you know, like each other's stuff and message.
You know,
on-
you don't have to actually do that. You can actually, if you can remember a part of conversation, you can just write that bit of conversation in, and it will take
really?
you back.
We should have
Really?
done
Yeah.
camper then, because that's how our
That'll give you a
chat
list of every
started
time
over
it
a
says-
camper van.
Was it? Yeah, how did it all start then? You slid it. What did you say?
I think I used to work for a company in Norfolk that did caravans and was there for 2 years, Rudd Leisure, and they were getting in these VW campers and they were servicing them, and then I flexed one, and then I think that was it. Then I want one of them, and then that was it.
No, I think I
want
liked
you. And I
it.
was like, what? Is that your camper? If so,
No.
Game on!
It went, he was like, oh, they're nice. Then he was like, we could share one. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, and then he's like, I'll have it at the weekend. You can have it in the week. And I'm like, no, you're not being a weekend dad to the camper van or something
Just
like
right at
that.
the start.
And that's how it sort of started. And then he started flirting first. And then, yeah, the rest is history.
I love this. Yeah.
And then we met, didn't we? Because I'm obviously from Leicester and he's in Norfolk, and we met at Rutland Water, didn't we? It was like halfway between, and I was sat there in the car, like, you know, it's like first date, nervous, yeah, waiting for him to come. I was there like on time, and anyway,
I went
and
and
I
bought a
seen
Mini,
this
mate.
black Mini come in, right, with this
Hired
massive
a Mini
hair.
for the day.
I bought a Mini
He
for
come over
500
the
quid.
speed bump
Did ya?
with this massive hair, like, and all I seen was the silhouette of this hair going like this over the speed bump.
That's a good Mini. That lasted a year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it died.
You bought that Mini just to meet me, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you was hooked back then.
I went to Butlins in it. I went to Installer in
You
it.
should have kept it.
You did an advert on it, didn't you?
Yeah. Sat on it and dented the bonnet. 'Cause I think I was, when Snap It was about, what I was going to do, spray it orange and then tip up the finger. But I thought I was a bit keen in it.
A bit much. But I think you. How long have you been on Instagram then? I think you was about it at the same time I sort of like got on it. I think I remember
A couple of years.
always remember your first video where you was doing that bending tutorial in your shed, and I was that's when I first see your
I
stuff,
think that
and
was
thought,
it, wasn't it?
I thought this guy. This is all about me. This kid. This is, I love this stuff. I've got to keep watching this bloke because he's fucking mental. I just thought it's brilliant.
I think my first post, I think I might have deleted it. I scrolled up and it was like fucking Henry the Hoover. Flexing a Henry the Hoover. Hashtag new tool. Bucksy Henry from Wicks. Man's made it, man. In Henry, I need one now.
So was you obviously a gas engineer when you both met?
Yeah. So since I've left the army, I've been doing gas. So 2 years before I left the army, they put me on my gas course down in Chatham in Kent, and then that's you qualified.
Yeah, that's a massive.
But there's a retention. You obviously can't get your tickets and leave. And then 2 years later, I just left. And in fact, the CV out, who wants a punctual, smart, fit, overqualified, beautiful ex-soldier? And people are like, no. And I was like, right, I can work for someone for free. And they were like, yeah. So, but then the army were paying me 6 months. And then in that 6 months, I went and worked for a heating company. And then foot was in the door then.
Have you ever worked together? Or
Yeah.
all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, not lots because we do different work because I'm more like the jobbing.
Who's
smaller
boss at
jobs.
work?
Me.
Have you never
He's
fought?
bossy.
Fought each other.
No.
We're fighting last night.
Have you ever?
mate. Jaw's bruised.
Have you ever thought about like setting up together?
No.
Or,
I don't think-
I operate
no.
in a totally different way. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
I think
very
you can't
unprofessional.
really.
You don't
It'd be
wanna work
very
together
difficult
and-
to mix business and pleasure.
yeah.
I think. I mean, like I say, we do occasionally. We've worked together on odd jobs, but I pass him the install work that I don't do. But yeah, I don't think we would ever combine the two businesses, would we?
No, 'cause you're doing all right.
you'd be at a loss.
Like, what the hell? I'm buying you the negative equity here. What the You come on, I'm even. No, but it's good to you go your way in the day and then I go my way in the day, and then when we come back we talk about our days.
Yeah, that's it. It's got something to talk about after and relate to, haven't you? It's
Yeah,
like,
we've got an understanding of the stresses that come with it,
Yeah.
especially
That's the
this
thing,
time
that's
of
the
year.
thing.
It is, because this time of year is, as we all know, is manic.
And it's like nothing towards the people who are not in the trade, but if you come home from work, and a lot of blokes will relate to this, you'll come home from work and you'll chat about your day, and your missus will just go, I don't want to hear about a boiler. Do you know what I mean?
She does, mate.
But,
That's what she does.
is that what you do?
No.
Yeah. No, she doesn't.
But you can actually relate to it. So you'll
Yeah.
say a problem and you'll go. You might even have a remedy for it or something
Yeah.
like that. Whereas blokes are just venting
Yeah.
to their missuses, and their missus are just getting the hump because
They're moaning
like,
while they're working late. And they just
yeah,
don't
yeah,
understand, do they?
yeah. It's very hard to relate.
It
to.
has that benefit, then it also has not a negative, but if you're having a bad day, I'm having a bad day, it's like we come
Yeah.
together and it's kind of like it's a pressure cooker, you know what I mean? So you got to manage it in a certain way. You got to be able to just listen, and then they listen. And some days I'm firing in that hard, she must be just like, I've had a bad day, I don't care about yours, it's not as bad as my day.
Hello, you wonderful listeners and watchers. Just pumping the brakes on this exciting episode to let you know about Keiran's app that's changing the game in the gas certificate world.
If you're sick and tired of doing gas certificates on paper, then Gas Certificate app is your way forward. But it wouldn't be an app worth talking about if that's it. With no hassle, you can manage your diaries, invoices and quotes for all your jobs, so you'll never be chasing paperwork again.
Don't forget those boiler manuals. I can tell you how many times I've been looking at a boiler and thinking, what the? Thankfully, the in-app boiler manuals have saved me and got me out of quite the pinch.
If it's helped Pete here, then Gas Certificate app will definitely help you, especially with its easy-to-use gas reg calculator and the extremely handy ability to duplicate certs. Brilliant for when you're doing your annual services on previous jobs. So click the link down below or in the description. Use the code POD30 to get 30% off yearly subscriptions. That's for all new users. That's POD30 for 30% off our yearly subscriptions for new users.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get on to... you had a bad day the other day, didn't you? Your van got
Yeah.
broken into. Touch on like tool theft and what was it a usual place where you leave it or?
Yeah, park it there every night, don't I? Went into
So it's at home?
yeah, that's the violation.
Yeah.
If it was at work or
It wouldn't hit you so hard, would it?
No, it wouldn't.
It would still be hard hitting, but when it's at your place of rest.
And when you don't know it's happened. So I just walked out in the morning, down to de-ice or go co-op, get some milk.
Yeah.
And then I was like TRVs and shite all in the road. And I was like, hold on a minute, and then walked round and then the back door was open. I was like, God me.
You never think it's going to happen to you, do you?
No.
I don't know because I've touched wood not had it happen to me yet, and I say yet because you feel like it's fucking imminent at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's rife, isn't it?
Like I've put my van out there now. I don't know. I half expect it to be done a lot of the time.
Looks like an Aston.
Yeah, I know, and that is why. And that is why it looks.
Break in and go, what? There's no food in it.
Got broken into by 10 starving kids. Yeah, but I don't.
Going starving for another night.
But you see, like my van is obviously the colour and that. It doesn't look anything special, obviously. But that's still not to say that someone won't have a go at it. Do you know what I mean? It's it's opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks. I think it looks an easier target. I think mine was kind of calculated just the way they did it, and I was just like, fair one. The fact you did it on a junction with loads of houses there and
It's
got
like they're
done.
sort of watching you going to your house.
Well, someone said your mate Simon said they were watching you. So
they must have been like,
Well,
if it's
weirdly
outside
enough,
your house,
that
they're going to watch you
day,
going in your house. And that's
you
the
were
scary thing.
you was emptying your van that day, weren't you? Getting loads of scrap out and sorting stuff out, so the van doors would have been open, and you also go and tip a lot. And I was wondering whether someone had drove by, seen in the van, maybe seen the Milwaukee stuff, and like he's obviously got all the pack out stuff in, and that's why they've come back. I mean, you just don't know, do you?
No.
Any tool companies listening, build these some tools, isn't it? Do they take everything? Or?
no, yeah, even the van.
New van.
That new custom, the new full electric one, please, and a charger. To be honest, and that's the power of social media as well, because loads of people obviously. I don't want people stepping up. So I'm not the kind of guy, and I've got it all covered. But a lot of people did.
Mm-hmm.
Like people like,
Did you
here's some money. Here's like people who know my address sending me stuff, and then people square me away an analyzer. You think, wow, it's a lot of money, mate.
Yeah.
Someone's went out and sorted that out, and I'm like, pfft. So it's very grateful.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but still, like all the power tools, I'm buying myself again. But it's in a way, it's like almost I'm getting new tools again
It's like a fresh
with
start,
another
isn't it?
3-year warranty. I'm like, oh yeah.
Did you have
Well,
tools?
some of them I just bought, and I'm like, you could have left the wet vac, because that's all I need every day.
Yeah.
It's like from my belt,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
wet vac.
It's like them sort of things that took like they took your hand tools and all, didn't they?
They took my service bag.
Yeah, that's
Well,
yeah,
that's
so much in
you
there,
can't
it's like-
replace
I've got
that.
brushes and weird tools for
Yeah.
servicing that, like, and my spray bottle, it's just this £1 spray bottle. I don't know where I got it from, but that, I'm like, give that back.
yeah.
Take a power tool and give me that bottle back.
Yeah.
But the analyzer and that as well, that's not even that old kind of thing. So, but it's all getting sorted out. But I think
Did you have
it's
tool
going to
insurance,
happen.
or-
I've got tool insurance,
Oh,
with
did you have
Rhino.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. I've got Rhino. So they're sorting that out. That's gone in on Saturday. So, and that's another thing I'm going to do. Potentially just, or is it pointless? Or is it me just trying to make up content? From van getting robbed, having the insurance, does the insurance work? And is it all covered? Are you back to normal again? The time scale.
Yeah.
So far, we're a week in, and I've only really.
I mean,
It's the ag with it.
I mean,
Oh, you had to get all the receipts, pictures of everything.
that's the
And
thing.
you only
Pictures
get a
of the
percentage
van,
of what it costs.
pictures
That's what I mean.
of-
You don't
yeah.
get the full amount.
That's because when I got insured on the latest insurance on my van, like my tools are old as the hills. Yeah, I've not renewed any power tools for ages. I think I've got one new power tool and I ain't got the receipt. Yeah, all the old receipts and that. But
you wonder,
like
don't
they
you?
know you
Somebody
sort of
come
thing.
in
that's what I
because
thought.
a few weeks ago on Facebook, somebody put in the village chat that someone had been going around checking vans, and you don't know where they've come from. They could have just come in and said, "We're going to hit this village tonight. We're going to go round and see if we can get in what we can get in." You just don't know, do you?
No.
How organised it is, or whether it's someone going round on their own. Just
I think it's a number of different.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a number of different. What's it called? It begins with M. Memento, motives. It's not that word.
But like we were saying, there's not really that much of a deterrent. It's like I've always said this. It probably could. They see all these, like we said, they got all these bloody tools on the things and that. They can see us. There's a spate of when it happens in the daylight. There's a spate of them. Yeah, that's not the only one they've knocked off that day. There's a spate of them running around London, right? But they can't find them people. Oh, they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You going to the U, Les? They'll fucking find you, ain't they?
The thing is, it
Do you know
happens
what I mean? I
in
know
the
it's
same
stupid,
areas.
but they seem to be putting money into others, but not helping the working class man or woman with, because that's your livelihood.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? That's it. I think if you get caught for it, I honestly think, right, and it won't ever happen in this country. Exactly. We're gonna have to link that with this. What I said earlier, innit? We'll have to just bleep that bit out because
hands bang gone.
and then what you do?
Gone.
And what you do?
And you just stumpy.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing then, are you?
Or
Can't
what
even
they
open
do?
a door.
They freeze your hands. Yeah. So in case you win an appeal. So it's just. But do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just freeze them. Put them all in the freezer.
So they're just cutting them off straight away, and then you go to court.
Yeah.
And
Not
you
guilty.
put your hand on the Bible, and they're like, it's just a stump, isn't it? And not guilty, and you're like, clapping, no hands, and they're like, well, you would have clapped, but his hands are gone.
Yeah. That's what should
They'll
happen.
be- yeah.
I told you. See, we're all on the same page here, Rob. He's shaking his head. I did a video on Instagram about that, and it got taken down.
Did it?
Saying what I should think we should do with people, and
Yeah, you got to be quite careful, haven't you? Got to be quite PC. My dad told me to take a video down the other day because I talked about going through to a call centre in China, I think,
Oh, right.
when I phoned up an insurance company. So as you said, be respectful.
or does your dad watch you?
He does, yeah.
Does he like it? Does he find it entertaining?
I don't know how he got on Instagram because he's like 55.
Oh, there's not an age limit to Instagram.
Yeah, but my dad's old school though. He's still in the army. He ain't got. He's just like, what's my son talking about? Why is he swearing?
His mum's not keen on it.
Let me see.
She hates your Instagram, your videos where
So
you're
how do
talking
you know?
to. She told me. She's like, I can't watch them.
Yeah, because
Where
I
you're
swear.
talking to the
You're
third
stitching her up
person.
there.
Right.
Because I swear.
I tell you
My
what.
mum, I don't swear in front of my mum.
My mum listens to this, right? So she listened to the first episode, right? And we were talking about. This was how my conversation went with my mum at the end of the day. She went, "Did he say something about vibrators?" And I was like, "Yep." That was, yeah, she thought that, and she went, "What's the other thing?" Remember, my mum's 71-year-old, like disabled lady, but and something about a fanny. A fake. I went, yeah. We were talking about a fake fanny. I'm not sure if this is the guy, but she wants to support me. Thanks very much, Mum. But I used to like. Do you know what I used to like? Your stuff was when you used to do that, because we all like, you know, my stuff, and I'd do these character things. You used to use that Gene character. You used to do. You used to have me in absolute bits when you was talking about Jean. Where's she come from? Was that based on?
I don't really know, mate. It's just It all started when I was on the caravans and you're just on your own a lot.
It's just going mental.
Yeah, you're
like
just in
talking to
empty
yourself.
caravans all the time and then you go mental and then that was it. And then I think my granny's called Jean, so maybe that's where it comes from.
Do you find it helps your day doing social media stuff? Like, adds a bit of different dynamics to it.
Yeah, it does in a way, yeah. I'm always on there having a look. I think I can multitask. Like, I don't know if it takes over.
Yeah.
My old boss might be able to tell you that, but I don't know. Yeah, there's got to be, you got to find the balance, haven't you? You still got to earn the P, and then do a bit of.
I say, I'm way too busy to look at Instagram in the day.
But you're always on it, watching me.
I know, I tend to look at it.
Slipping into his DMs. Slipping into his DMs. Guilty.
I just enjoy it for what it is. Yeah, it's good.
It's a laugh, isn't it? We got.
Yeah,
There's
you
good,
meet
there's
some
good few
sound-
people.
You meet some sound people, yeah.
And it is a really good community because when you're working on your own every day,
That's
it's a
the thing,
lonely
yeah.
job, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you've got I mean, some people have apprentices and work colleagues, but predominantly if you're there out on your own all day every day, it's a company. It's you know, and I think that's where people get a lot of comfort from it and a lot of support. You know, because even you know when you're working for yourself, like I say, we're lucky we've got each other, but you know, there's guys out there working for themselves that don't have work colleagues, and I think that's where it comes into its own. You know, that support that it offers to people.
Probably nice for you to meet women in the trade as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Obviously,
you've
you've
got-
got loads, so you can meet them online. And
Yeah. So I mean, I've met quite a few female engineers who are now really good friends. You know, we're from all over, and you know, we meet up a couple of times a year, and you know, it's just really nice having that. You know, we don't get together and talk about work. We just get on.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's funny because obviously, out of all through the years of doing this job, I think a lot of the time, gas engineers, plumbers, they're all like-minded people.
Yeah.
We're all very similar people, and you don't find very many that you don't get on with. You know, I think it is the nature of the job we're in.
I think it's nice for you as a woman, as like in the trade, you haven't had much bad experience, have you? Really?
No, I mean, like I say, British Gas have got the comments and stuff, and you know, I don't look back and I did have to prove myself that a little bit more, but I don't look back and think I had it hard. I think British Gas were quite supportive of being a female. I mean, you get the odd manager that would address a room full of men when you were in there just as gents and look directly at me, and I'm like, well, I'm not a gent.
It's just a habit, isn't it? Really?
Well, you say that, some of it wasn't. You just know some of them do it. It's a power thing, you know. But yeah, generally, I wouldn't say, you know, I've had positive experience. I've had positive reactions from customers, and even when I went to be a manager, I thought, because they moved to my area, so I was in Leicester, and they was going to move me to Cov to be a manager for a whole new team that I'd never met. And that was like daunting. So I thought, what they're going to think? This woman coming in, is she any good? But they were a fantastic team, and you know they were just a great team, and they supported me, and I obviously supported them, and you know, a lot. Yeah, I got on really well with them. So, but that was daunting. But like I say, generally the overall experience I've had being female has not been a bad one.
But if you think about it, I phone you up once a week for technical help. Craig phones you up 4 times a day for technical help. All the other lads phone you up 8. So, you know what I mean? You're almost helping everyone as well. So, fair play on that. If I've got a wiring issue, I'm going to phone you straight away, aren't I?
Yeah, I think that's just come from being like when you're inexperienced yourself, and you know, obviously that another reason I was lucky at British Gas. We had a team. You know, there's always someone you could ring for help.
Yeah.
You know, there was always someone there, and I think I'd always offer that to anybody else because I know what it's like. You know, that's all
Like
part
you
of
say,
the.
working for yourself on your own, you've not always got that.
No, that's
Instagram
right.
creates like almost like you're working for a company where you can phone up a supervisor and you just fire into someone's inbox. Like, how do you do this? Someone will know. Or if you just put it up, someone will answer your question, won't they?
Yeah,
It's just
that's the good thing about it. And I suppose we all have a big meet up at the end of the year or in the middle of the year, don't we? All go to installer and have
I
a
really
bit
like
of
that.
piss up and all that. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
That side of it brings everyone together, doesn't it? Which I don't know if I suppose other trades have that. Do they? I don't.
Yeah, electricians have what's it called? It's like CEF Live. I think that's in Coventry as well.
But that's a right fucking blast, isn't it?
Well, I don't know what like, the other communities are like.
There's a painting and decorating one, isn't there?
Is there?
I see, like the home build one. I don't know.
It
One
feels
for
like
builders
the
and
plumbing
that.
and gas is more.
Staller's
better
massive
community.
now, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now it's gone to
Oh,
Birmingham.
yeah,
It's huge, isn't it?
yeah.
Didn't even get round last
No,
year.
we didn't. We went 2 days.
Missed
as
so many
well.
people as well.
Yeah.
I literally, because I worked for ECA last year, I think I took one track in to the stand, and that was it for like the 2 days that I was there. I didn't go around installer really at all. I think I'll probably see about, if I said I see about 10% of it, that's all I see.
I think it's getting too big. I don't want to slate install the show, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's got to be manageable, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
You know.
But then the more stands you have there, the more revenue
Yeah.
they generate.
Yeah, it's just understandable.
And yeah, so.
But if you'd have told me 10 years ago that I'd be going to, let's have it right, a convention, a plumbing convention, because that's what it is, isn't it?
It is, yeah,
I'd have
yeah.
said, have a day off.
Yeah.
But, no, but you...
I think we go for the social side, don't
Yeah,
we?
well,
And
I
then
go to
the
see
extra
people, yeah,
bit.
that's
I
right.
come home with no freebies. I've been, like three years in a row? I don't know any freebie that I've got.
Yeah.
I got them ideal boxes last year that don't fit. So
I get all the free.
you're proper keen for it. You're first through the door. Want every pen off everyone.
Come out with so many bags, brake keys, pens.
Yeah, then you see them turn up, don't you? They're like, if you're working it, they're like...
It's like a heat pump stand and he's talking, you're like...
It's like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places where he gets the cigars out of them.
So what's your plans for the future of like
What, in life or in general?
in work? Yeah, so obviously you're not going to work together.
Just
Not in a
carry
bad
on,
way.
carry on as I am.
Carry on, yeah.
I mean, obviously, and business is going well, so I'm happy just to keep.
Do you prefer being on the tools? Because obviously you've done what a manager job.
Yeah, I've done.
Yeah.
I did 18 months as a manager, and then I did 18 months in a diagnostic lab where I was actually writing fault finding models for boilers on software
cool,
and
yeah.
stuff. So that was new skills I'd not done before. But again, I just got fed up with just going to the same place, same four walls every day, clock watching, and you miss being out on the road. And I think once you've done that for so long, it's hard to then go.
It's different, isn't it? Like, say,
Oh,
clock
yeah,
watching. You're
yeah.
clock watching, you're like, when's I going to get to 5 o'clock? But when you're out on the tools, you're
You
like,
want it to slow down.
I want it to
You're
slow.
like, what is that time already?
No, because once that goes past 1 o'clock,
Yeah, it's
that's
gone.
when the
Yeah.
time's on, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
1 o'clock,
definitely.
that is when you're thinking, oh no. If you're not-
Yeah. So yeah, just carry on as I am, sort of
So
thing.
do you pretty much just do repairs and servicing?
Yeah, I do plumbing repairs as
Yeah,
well,
okay.
and I do radiator changes and slightly bigger jobs, but nothing major. You know, that sort of work. You know,
It's so
that's-
good to have the little niche in it rather than trying to do everything.
Yeah, and I think that's where I got a lot of my business from, really, because a lot of guys that go out there want the bigger jobs, they don't want the smaller jobs. So, you know, that you get sort of recommended around if I've done work for people, and I've not had to advertise. Everything's done by recommendation.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned you got a son.
Yeah.
Would you direct him into the industry?
He
Is
comes
he
out-
showing an interest?
Yeah,
I know we've seen him out.
Yeah,
with
he
you
comes
before now.
out with me, and when you ask him now what he wants to do, he'll say either a gas engineer or a YouTuber.
It's been a lot of young
Yeah.
kids want
Yeah.
to be like
You-
social
He's
media,
addicted
didn't
to the
they?
phone and the computer
Yeah.
and the PlayStation.
They
What else
all
have we got?
are, though, aren't
iPad.
they? Yeah, they all are. They're at that age
I want to
now.
be
It's-
YouTubers.
Yeah, so he does take an interest and he enjoys it, and the little bit that I've let him get hands on, he really does like it.
Yeah.
He changed our mixer shower at home.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, under my
Yeah.
instruction. Yeah.
That's good though, yeah.
That's
You
it. And I
need-
think, like, I was taught from a young age how to wallpaper from my mum, how to wire a plug.
Yeah.
Just
You know,
having DIY skills.
Yeah,
isn't
and I
it?
think it's
handy.
invaluable, you know, just being able to use a tool and
Yeah, same as my old man. My dad used to show me how to do, like, you know, my dad used to, like, do odd jobs in the house and I'd be there helping him, like, telling him the colours of wires. 'Cause
Yeah.
if you don't know me, he's blind. I've mentioned this before several times. But he'd ask me the colour of wires. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know you had to tell him the right colours. So. That one's green, mate. Yeah, that red one. But no, yeah, but it's good to experience that, isn't it? Like as a kid, you know what I mean? And is I take it he's in secondary school now.
Yeah, he's just started secondary school.
Technology and all that.
Yeah,
malarkey.
yeah. So
he'd be a bit ahead of some people in that aspect of practical skills along them lines. So it's good, isn't it?
No. What sort of work do you do, Bill? You do a bit of
jobbing, bobbing, lashing, thrashing. Yeah, I try and do it all.
You do some commercial with
with Simon down in London. Yeah.
How do you compare that to domestic? Is there a lot more to know, or sort of once you know it, it's?
I think it takes a long while to learn, and you need to have the right people around you. So like, I got my commercial ticket, and I was like, my commercial engineer. Like, no, a year later, I still ain't touched it. And then obviously met Simon through Instagram, become good mates, and he's like, come down. It's almost like if you want commercial, you got fired down to the city for me. Obviously Glenn's commercial as well, but he's more lighter commercial. But you can still mix it, he's still done all that, but his clientele is more like big houses. As a Simon is more in the city, factories, buildings, stuff like
it's
that.
big stuff, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's good because of the diversity. So I can do a bit of LPG, I can do a bit of oil, do a bit of natural gas, domestic, commercial. So it's the variety, really, which I like.
Does your head get like... Because there's a lot to know, and especially oil, LPG. There's so many different regulations, and it's... You come onto a job and you just... Sometimes you won't know everything, will you?
No, but you kind of expected to, aren't you, in this world, aren't you? It's like you're expected to fix a boiler first time every time, but I'm a callback king, but... you know, I don't do toilets, I don't do bathrooms because it's just not for me.
No,
do you know what I mean?
give up on the bathrooms.
No. I mean, there's people doing it and they're making serious money and they've got everything in place, you know what I mean? And they're doing a good job. I'd rather get them in, you know what I mean? I'd rather get Tyson or Hoskins in to do your bathroom because it's going to be done then, isn't it? Yeah. Rather than you just lashing it in and it leaking years later. Loads of Victoria plumb gear, but when they come along, it's nice, isn't it? I always tell people as well, you can get a cheap bathroom, can't you? But it won't really last that long. So a bathroom costs a lot of money, doesn't it? People don't think that.
You'd be easily, if I'd say any standard bathroom now, start to finish, you're looking at 10 grand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's including the suite, the labour, the tiles.
Yeah.
If there's anything like if you're talking about a $5 grand bathroom, that's like that's a small contract bathroom. Do you know what I mean? That is probably flung together. You're looking at 10 straight away for a decent bathroom. Yeah. Would you say?
Yeah, but it's getting the right clients, isn't it? It's people don't want to pay that money.
Yeah, I know.
If you're in the right clientele, it's fine.
But what I'm getting at is if people are out there watching this thinking, I could get my bathroom done for 7 or 8 grand, then if your house is like, without being rude, but if you're in a nice house, but you're looking to pay cheap for a bathroom, then don't expect it to last, like you say. Do you know what I mean? Because it ain't. Not if you're paying under 10 grand for a bathroom, it ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be.
I think it's like everything, isn't it? Everyone's got a budget, and they need to be realistic with that budget. And like you say, if you can afford to go dearer, then do it. You know, because it will last you. But it's like everything, isn't it?
It's all like you look at a toilet, a sink. It's all made out of the same stuff, isn't it?
It's all made in Turkey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it?
You look at the internals of a toilet. Are they still using cheap parts in an expensive toilet?
I think it varies really, doesn't it? A lot of them.
You see so many toilet parts on Instagram that you think.
What were you? Team Tide or Viva? Tide. Who sends you stuff?
Tide.
No, we're Team Tide. No, I don't know what I want to do. I don't want to be plumbing forever.
Oh, you don't?
No, me neither, mate.
My back and my knees are shot to pieces. We wake up in the morning and we sit on the sofa and all we do is moan. Like we're like 90 already.
I'll tell you what, mate.
Like, oh, She's aching. I can't get bend down to help you out because I'm aching.
I knelt down the other day, right? I was undoing a TV bracket on the screen around my girlfriend's house, and I knelt down. I went, like that. Just went up my knee, just went, bang. She went, are you all right? I was like, fucking sound all right. My knee just went ping, but I don't know what it, because I've had cartilage operations and all that malarkey. That's sort of like part of the package, I think.
Yeah, and I think our trade
lot of
is
wear
one of
and
the
tear,
worst
isn't
for
it?
it because I've had various physio and treatments over the years, and a lot. Well, physio said to me, plumbers, gas engineers are by far the people I see the most with work-related injuries.
You look at the boilers you pick up, and we never.
Positions you get in, under baths,
Yeah, I mean,
under sinks.
I was with Big Al the other day, like Streety, and he come down to one of my jobs, and I literally twisted awkward, and it was like a shot through me back, and I was like,
It's twists that get people, isn't it?
Are you
Gets
all right?
a lot of people.
And I've had back problems. I've seen osteopaths, and I have to
Osteopaths.
osteopath. But I've been to them and had to have treatment. Yeah, because there are sometimes, and you won't even know that you've done it. Sometimes.
No. Oh, it can happen later on. That happened to me when my back went first time. I was in a loft and I was changing a 3-port valve, but I was in a really awkward position. It was like I was having to hold on to all my muscles to hold myself there while I was doing it, stretching out. Got out the loft, went home, fine. Late that evening, went down to pick some out of the oven. And that was it.
Yeah.
Like, back just gone. And yeah, it was obviously from earlier, but and sort of highlighted till later on.
What have you thought about doing then? If you don't want to do plumbing forever?
I don't know, mate.
What,
Something
just
to do
off
with
the tools?
psychology, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I've got 6th, 7th, haven't I?
Yeah.
Mind read.
All right. What am I saying?
Sure.
No, because you said, like, obviously, when you was younger, that's something you wanted to do. So
Yeah, it's a sense I have.
it's like you keep getting that urge to.
It's mad because if
I
I,
like the
could
way how
choose
people
my
think
career
and-
again, I'd go into the same
Yeah.
thing.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, it's mad.
we
that,
can
isn't
almost
it?
be in it and clock someone, and we just know not everything about them, you know what I mean? Because you won't, but you know
judge of
kind of what.
character.
Yeah, so from like a mile away, do you know what I mean? It's just like you've got their number already, and just helping people out really. But to be a psychologist, you got to be very strong mentally yourself because you got to deal with everyone else's trauma and drama and issues. Yeah, and I'm quite black and white, me, aren't I? I don't struggle. That'd be my problem. I struggle to. Do you know what I mean?
You haven't got a lot of empathy.
Empathy. I don't have any empathy.
You have some, but not
Some,
much.
yeah. I'm trying to find it. Like I don't feel sorry for people, and I don't feel sorry for myself. It's almost like, well, that's why it happened. This is why it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm quite. I don't
But
know
the
what
army
it is.
gives you resilience.
Yeah,
doesn't
I
it?
think that's where that comes from, maybe.
Yeah.
You got to have that thick skin and.
Cold heart on it.
No, you're definitely not cold-hearted.
Good.
So what did the army teach you? That's a bit of a hard question to answer.
They teach you everything, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. They teach you how to be.
Discipline. You're very disciplined, aren't you?
Yeah, but it slackens off as soon as the day you leave.
Was it like when
Life's
you
good.
left? Was it like freedom? Was it like that? Was it a kind of like that? Sort of
Yes,
thing?
because just you being stuck in traffic. I was like, oh, man, I sit in traffic all day. You know, the weird stuff.
Yeah.
I struggled at first for like the first 6 months drinking and that, and just thinking, have I made the right decision? But it was. And all the people that I joined up with are out now. So there's not. The army's no. I don't know because I'm not in anymore. But as I was leaving, it's almost they're trying to make it into a 9-to-5 job. Before it was like when you join, you're in. Like you're never leaving until you get shot in the face or you're 55. So you choose which way you want to go. But now it's almost like it's a 9-to-5 job. It's becoming more civilianized, I think.
For what reason do you think that is? What bit too?
Just the way the world's going, isn't it? It's more about. It's not boys' club anymore, is it? It's more like peace of mind, isn't it? I mean, you're allowed to be gay now. I don't think you weren't allowed back in the day, were you, to be a gay soldier? You've got women now on the front line. I think don't quote me, you might have a woman who's passed selection in Hereford. I'm unsure about that. But yeah, they're big steps for a woman to be a Royal Marine, a commando and a paratrooper, sorry. Is it getting more PC? Bit like the police? And it has to, doesn't it? I don't know if it has to or not. But remember they used to say where policemen used to slap kids around the head? Now it's almost like a police officer, he can't even talk to a kid. Yeah. Because they might get a charge for it.
Did you want to talk about your Dunkin' Donuts? Like how many you get for how many now?
What's that?
He said, I'm going to put that in. He said, you get 3 less donuts now.
You used to get 12 in a pack, didn't you? I've done the 12 pack. Makes you sick. But
You've ate a whole pack of 12 donuts?
Yeah.
In one sitting?
Yeah, proper sick. And I've just gone and got you guys some in the office. There's only 9 in there, but they're still the same price.
So what's the world coming to?
That's the problem. What?
They're nice, though, aren't they?
Yeah, you were like, should we have one before we... No, we can't just take donuts in and you've eaten all the good ones.
Like Forrest Gump, I ate some.
Yeah. I bet you was tempted to eat one on the way down. Weren't you?
That's what I said. Like, they won't mind us having one each first.
No, thanks for having me on. Yeah, sound.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for
I'll let you
joining
close it
us.
up, yeah.
Are you
Thank you,
going
yeah.
to wrap this up for a change?
you can.
Why? I had to start off. Why don't you wrap it up? Come on, give me some of that Keiran personality.
I'll go
Wrap
wrap
it up.
go on.
Kieran's not going to do it, so I will. Thanks for joining us. BB the Engineer on Instagram. KazGas on Instagram. And he messed that up. Oh, don't worry. I always mess people's names
That's
up.
fine,
Yeah.
no worries.
I need 2.5, 3 years, you know. But thanks for joining us, and join us for the overtime show on Monday.
Ta-da.